Well, firstly, I'm Don Murray. I first met Drew Beckett over 30 years ago, back in the late 70s, when I was divisional manager of a company based in London. And I was their local divisional manager. We were recruiting, and Drew came along for an interview. And I must say, it really struck me at the time because he didn't have a lot of experience. But he was very determined and seemed to be very frank, very open. I have subsequently learned, of course, that frankness is what is actual brutal honesty. And the trick word there is honesty. He's, very, very honest. And that determination is drive. If he sees something and believes it, then he goes after it. So I offered him a job and he started with me. And over the next 10 years, he became a very successful person in the business. So initially, Drew had joined me as a salesperson and we marketed financial services products. We had a small estate agency and the idea was to grow the business. So Drew worked his way up. He became a unit manager and ended up running a team of over 20 people, which was a big team in those days. It also became the most successful team in the division, coincidentally. So you began to associate with Drew success. Whatever he did, he'd be good at it because he'd work at it until he was good at it. And that's really one of his qualities. So we stayed together for about 10 years. My division became the most successful division in the company. And then I moved over to London and Drew and I parted ways really at that time. And that was after 10 years of working together. Interestingly, I went my own way to start a software business. And that software business was based around something that had built over the 10 years working alongside Drew. And that was, I began to identify the pattern of what people did to become successful. And actually Drew was a great role model for this because what I discovered was that successful people did similar things. And I built a company called WorkSmart. And WorkSmart was not about working hard, it was about doing the things that successful people do. And not that it would give him any royalties or anything, but Drew was part of that research. He was part of that over 10 years, saying that many people can fail, but the successful people do similar things. It's called the footprint of a winner, and he follows in those footprints. So as I built WorkSmart, based around those principles, I often thought back to people like Drew. And the fact that when you look at what they do, they get a goal, they focus on that goal. So they're very focused people. That was certainly one of his qualities. And the second thing is they don't quit. If there's one thing I can tell you about successful people, they don't quit. They meet adversity. It doesn't always seem to be working for them. There's times when you think it's not working, but the trick is don't quit. And he wasn't a quitter. He stayed at it until it would be successful. And that really would be the key ingredients. And Drew possesses those.